I got to tell you something. I've been a huge fan of hers for several years, so I'm very, very excited to be able to ask you some penetrating questions and be able to get your perspectives on it. Tonight's topic on inclusivity is really all about how do we change the status quo? How do we make change occur? And while you've done that time and time again throughout the Chicago region, I'd love to be able to get your perspectives tonight on, first, how do we get everyone involved in innovation and entrepreneurship throughout the Chicago region? Who's underserved today, and how do we really get to them in a way that's going to be meaningful and integrated into this work?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me for the second time in a row. I'm pleased to be here. And I'm especially pleased to see so many people out tonight, and especially to see so many women out tonight. I want to say, though, that we need to do a little work on the diversity of the audience. African Americans, Latinos, and Asians. So I always try to speak to the importance of inclusion and diversity, and I've tried as president of the county to have as diverse as possible leadership team to lead by example, and to focus on inclusion and equality in the work that we do. For example, Mike Jasso is our head of our Bureau of Economic Development, and one of the things we're doing in economic development is what we call a sub-regional initiative to try to work in the south suburbs, which are in lots of ways the most disadvantaged communities in the county, to help lift them up. Because what we know is the counties that are most successful have the least inequality. So that if we can work in those parts of the county that have struggled with loss of industry, loss of their industrial base, loss of population, disconnection in lots of ways from the rest of the county, if we can work to build up those kind of communities, we can do a lot for the county as a whole. So I want to thank Mike Jasso and his team for the good work that they do. As I said, I try to make inclusion and diversity the core of what I do and say, no matter what the topic. So I wanted to be sure to address that in my remarks at the beginning of this discussion. So, and I guess I would say it's incumbent upon everybody in the position that you're in to try to address that as well. That's the only way we're going to deal with it, is that everybody take responsibility for being sure that women and people of color are in leadership positions and have as much opportunity as possible.
Terrific. Give us an example of what you've done in the Chicago region that really helps to foster that, or really helps to support that wonderful mindset.
Well, let me talk just a little bit about how I look at my job. And my view is that I should go as many different places as possible and talk to as many different kinds of groups as possible. That it's incumbent upon me as an elected official to reach out to all parts of the county and all constituencies within the county. Yesterday I was with Commissioner Gaynor, and we were up in the Andersonville area talking to local school councils and chambers of commerce. Last week, through On the Table, the Chicago Communities Trust event, I was in several places, including the south suburbs, where we had a number of mayors involved in a session at Prairie State, and also business leaders and folks from the Technology and Manufacturing Association, TMA, which does a lot of work with manufacturers around meeting their employee needs, their workforce needs. So I try to go as many places as I can and to talk about the issues that I think are important to the county. And surely, as I said, inclusion and diversity are high on that list.
Terrific.